Good morning, dear devotees and friends. After conquering a great war against a disease, a terrible disease, and all over the world the people they suffer, now again the bright sunlight, and as a Sunday we are once again in person giving the discourse, almost after 2 years. So many of us, we have lost the habit of coming to ashram. And it's a very comfortable, cozy sitting in the one room and watching. That is also good. That's also welcoming. But at the same time, visiting the ashrama, spending some time in the shrine, that is also necessary for the spiritual life. Friends, we started Yoga Vasistha. Yoga Vasistha is a Advaitic, the literature, and the pure Advaita knowledge that we are almost completely last 2 years we are studying that. So after 1 or 2 the discourses, it will be complete. So we reached up to the 10th. Now let us begin the Yoga Vasishtha as usually we do by chanting this unique stotra. Dikkaladi anavachinna ananta chinmatramurtaye svanubhuti ekamanaya nama shantaya tejasi. Do you like to repeat after me? Like that will be good. Okay. Dikkaladi anavachinna ananta chinmatramurtaye svanubhuti ekamanaya nama shantaya tejase. I salute the Supreme Brahman, the one who is beyond all qualities, who is tranquil and beyond all limitations, who is the embodiment of infinite consciousness and can be known only through one's own experience. Friends, every time we study this and we repeat, and these few lines are the gist of the whole knowledge, Vedantic knowledge. Those who are following the path of knowledge, those who like to realize the Brahman, and for them, these 4 lines are sufficient. Salute the Supreme Brahman. Here, I am acknowledging, saluting to whom? Because there is no second one. I and the object are the one. Obviously, is going to give us an idea, one who is beyond all qualities. What are the qualities? Sattva, Raja and Tama. These are the 3 qualities. With these 3 qualities, usually all this, our creation is going on. So it is beyond that quality. Where from this quality came? From him, from that. But at the same time, it is not affected by these qualities. And who is tranquil? How it can be tranquil? Because there is no desire. When there is a desire, there is always the craving, the hankering, and the desire to get something, and the mind is turmoil. Since there is no separate object, other object than this consciousness, how can there be desire? When the other objects are there, then I feel that I should get that, or I will go over there, achieve that. Nothing is there. Naturally, completely free from any desire, is the cause of tranquility, beyond all limitations. The limitations, if we have the body, we have the limitations. We cannot go from here and there. And limitation means a different duality. That is the limitation. I am sitting over here, that somebody cannot come and sit on the same chair. Limitation because of the body. But the conception of the body, separateness is not there. So there cannot be any limitation. Which is the embodiment of infinite consciousness. So negation, negation, negation. Not this, not this, not this. Then affirmation. What is that? It is consciousness. What is that Brahman? It is consciousness. But I like to remind myself and also those, because we make mistake again and again in the Hinduism, there are three paths which are leading us to that goal. Of course, there are, they say four, but here the three will say. And the jnana, in the knowledge path, our goal is Brahman, the consciousness. Those who are practicing the yoga, they don't say Brahman, they say Paramatman. The goal of the ultimate meditation is the Paramatman. So we get confused. After the meditation, I realized Brahman. Through meditation, it's not necessary and it is not possible. Because the Brahman, the consciousness is ever present. Who is meditating on whom? So that is all very subtle philosophical discussions and debates. But the goal, usually they mention like this, the yogi, their goal is Paramatma. The jnani, their goal is Brahman. Bhakta, their goal is Bhagavan. But the same thing in three different, in the Bhagavata, they say it is all the three same. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said all the three same. But only we like to give these names. So here it says the infinite consciousness, and can only, one can realize that one's own experience. Now here you know, is the Guru Vasishtha is teaching his disciple mainly to Sri Ramachandra, the son of Dasharatha. And Dasharatha is worried because his elder son, Ramachandra, after attaining the Guru Kriya, he heard about the Atman, he heard about and learned about this world, this temporary world, changing world. Now this young man is thinking what to do. If this world is so temporary, why should I have to become a king to rule this? So that is the main question, the basic question that was tormenting in the mind of the Sri Ramachandra. And obviously, when a person is thinking in this way, young man of hardly 13, 14, maybe maximum 15. So he came back from his Guru Kriya and he was a very intelligent student. He understood this, and now he is pondering over that, obviously withdrawing from all other activities, which his father became very much concerned. And we all know, those who are following these discourses, our Vasishtha Muni, he was the teacher of the family, Raghu family. So he came and he started talking with Sri Ramachandra. He's going on giving examples after examples, which we are not mentioning over here, one or two. So that's stories after stories to explain. And this is the beauty of the spiritual teaching. Whenever the great teacher, they say something, teach something, and immediately they give an example. And through that example, they like to clarify that. And that is why in every tradition, in every religion, we will find there's some type of stories. The mythology has developed. The mythology means is the true fact, stories mixed with some imagination. And that is called mythology. And that is the way it goes very deep into the mind. I have to stick to the truth. And immediately they will give the story of some king or some person who was sticking to that. Very hardship, very challenging, but still he was there and he became successful. So by that way, we feel encouraged. The mythology is very, very important. So after 2 months gap, January and February, because these 2 months usually we take in Chicago, when other centers and other Vedanta societies at different times they take, but we take these 2 months off, and we are going to start this one. Now in December 2021 discourse, we mentioned about the last chapter, Shunya, Ashunya Prakarana. The Prakarana, that is the chapter we can say, but then title of that, Shunya and Ashunya. The state of emptiness and non-emptiness. It is very, very peculiar. It is empty. If it is empty, then how can it be non-empty? So this Shunya Ashunya Prakarana. And through that, finally, the teacher is giving the ultimate teaching to the student, the Ramachandra. How many types of happinesses are there? We have already started, and it is there in our YouTube. If you are interested, you can visit. We discussed what is mind and how to purify the mind, and then how the mind can be detaching from the objects, how it is possible, and what is happiness, how many types of happinesses are there, Vishayananda, Bhajanananda, etc. And then ultimately what is true happiness. Today we shall begin with the definition of the bondage and liberation. The bondage and liberation given by the Guru Vasishtha. This is the second verse of the 10th chapter. And it says, Drishya Darshana Sambandhe Sukha Sambit Anuttama Drishya Sambadita Bandha Tat Muktya Mukti Uchyate. Mukti Uchyate. It can be said as the liberation, and Drishya Sambadita Bandha. Now those who are not interested about all this, those who like to just live the life, they were born, they got some education and some training, we're utilizing that knowledge, they are earning money and they are happy. There is no problem. And this scripture is not for them. And the spiritual teaching, spiritual scripture is completely different. This is completely different in that way. Those who have realized the futility of this life after living, experiencing again and again, everything is changing. I was such a strong person. I was this, I was that. Now slowly, slowly everything goes away. The physical changes are so, we need not to go and see the world, we can see ourselves. And different pictures are there, photos are there hanging. I was a little kid and then I grew up. Now, when I go and check those things, I can't recognize. Are they me? I was like this. So much changes. Still I feel that I am there. This is the Shunya Ashunya. Shunya, it is not there. Everything is changing. Ashunya, it is there. Oh, I was a little boy like this. I used to love like this. I used to play like this. I used to do like that. And now it is all changing. But I am there all the time. In all these changes, I am there. Those who can't understand these, they go again and again in the circle of birth and rebirth. And if they like it, no problem. And it will continue. Because the Lord God who has created this universe, it wants that some beings, people should be there. If everybody is getting liberation, then what will happen? So this problem came in the beginning of the creation. When the Lord, the Supreme Lord, asked the Brahma, he created the Brahma from his mind and then gave the knowledge and told through this knowledge, you should create the knowledge of Sattva, Raja, Tama and the Maya, all this. Then he said, go on, creation. So it should be. So Brahma was creating, and he was going on so many. But one after another, they were behaving just like Brahma. As Brahma was meditating, so Sananda, Sanatan, Sanat Kumar, all these 5 Kumaras, they were born out of Brahma's mind. And they immediately offered pranam to the father, and Brahma told, where are you going? You have to go to the world, you have to start within the progeny. I want this creation because Lord is asking me to do. We don't know what is this. Our mind is constantly going to that consciousness. So we are going for meditation. So Brahma understood there is something wrong. He separated. By putting ego, the moment the ego came, immediately we got separated from the God. This goes on that way. Now we have to go back. What is the scripture that we are reading? The path of knowledge. And the path of knowledge means understanding the truth. We are going back to the source, that's all. Otherwise, why the whole 2 years we are studying this the Yoga Vasistha? Why? Because we are thinking that we have to go back to the root, go back to the source. Why? Because we want eternal joy. Our goal is, do we call Brahman, do we call Atman, do we call Bhagavan, but actually we want eternal happiness, eternal joy. And we like to live eternally. We don't like to die. We like to live eternally. And we like to know everything that is happening over here. So these 3 qualities which are the basic knowledge about the Creator. It may be the Brahman, it may be the God, but these are the 3 basic things are there. So we want those things, we like to be eternally there. So we are studying. Now it says, what you should do, it says the Guru Vasishtha is defining, you are bound, you have to get the liberation. Now we can understand what is this bondage. If you go and visit any jail, and you will understand what is this, how the people are living over there. They are getting food, they have the bed, they have all things, but they cannot come out. That boundary is there. They're free. They'll be playing the volleyball, they are doing the exercise. In America, the jails are very good. And in our country, it's a big problem. But everything is there. Not that they are going to kill them. They are going to rectify them. They are going to tell them that you have done something mistake. So this punishment, when you go out again, you should rectify yourself. That's a rectification. It is okay. But you cannot come out. Here also, in this world, we cannot go out. Why? Because here also we cannot go out. Why? Our desire. Here there is no jail. We have created our own jail. And we are so happy living in that jail. And we are thinking, oh, this is my family, this is my beautiful house, and this is that. I am the boss of so and so, and I have a car, I have these, so many things we go on having the desire, and we are bound by that. At the time of death, everything is left over there. I cannot take it. Think of the person who is dying without enjoying his own wealth. How much painful it is. And the person who could not earn the wealth and had a great desire, a beggar, wanted to be a great rich person. Now when he is dying, what he is thinking? Oh, I could not enjoy my life. What has happened to me? And if I take birth again, oh God, give me this much wealth. Let me become a king. Like this, everything. And one who is dying as a king, as a wealthy person, will be thinking, oh, God, give me a few more years. I like to distribute the wealth among the relatives and all, not neighbors, relatives, the white neighbors. So obviously, they'll be constantly thinking, and relatives means those who are friendly with me, they only I will give it, they not. So all calculations are there. But suddenly they die and think about their mind. What is dying? Body. Because body decomposes, body naturally, body and the mind. But the subtle part of the mind, with the desire, it is surviving. We think we're dying. No. The same person, same soul, it is surviving. Only we cannot communicate, we cannot see, we cannot touch, but it is there. So bio-vivo. Bio means like the ear. We cannot see the ear, but we can feel it is there. So similarly, all the souls are there. So sometimes some Swamiji said, why you are afraid of ghosts? You are constantly going through the ghost. Oh, many souls are there. We are constantly going. Only we cannot understand. Those who understand, oh my God, so many. They're all there in different places. Just like we are now here. Same way. So this desire is so painful. So painful. So when the desire is there, it is so painful. And the stories in the movies and different stories, that is so, all the time we are depicting that, we are listening to that, but we cannot learn from that. So what is the bondage? What is the suffering? Our desire. And suppose we go beyond that desire, then we are free. So most of the time we give the example as because in America, and that there will be after every 4 years, the people are running for the highest post of the president. But for most of us, it is nothing. We are not excited, we are not. And who is becoming president and why? There is no suffering for us because we don't have the desire to become president. The moment we understand this, we are free. The freedom means suffering, beyond suffering. Bondage means suffering because unfulfilled desire. So it says, Drishya Darshana Sambandhe Sukha Samvid Anuttama. Drishya, seen, Darshana, seer. The person who is seen, and the Drishya, the object that I am seeing, Sambandhe, connection, Sukha. I went to Maha in the western part, and they had the beautiful, because nature, there's a soft, the stone, and because of the wind, different type of shapes has come, and there was a big hill, inside there's a hole, I don't know how it has become, there was a small little, perhaps the wind was passing through that, it made a hole. They say the sun eye. Most of the people, they are going over there to see the sunrise. Now, I also was trying to go, but I felt it will be too difficult for me to climb. So I waited, no, it's okay. Then a young man who was with me, I told, you better go and take the photo. And all young people they were doing. Very peculiar, you know. I went to two places this time. The one is Death Valley. The most of the tourists are very elderly person. I don't know, because of the Death Valley they wanted to see. After Death Valley we are going to go, perhaps. So majority of the people, they were all elderly people. And this Mahan, mostly young people, because they have to walk a lot. So they were. So I went halfway and then I told, you better go, I'll be waiting over here. So they all went. A group of young people, they were passing through, they asked, hey sir, won't you go to see the sunrise? I told, no, sun will come and see me, I'm waiting for that. The sun will rise and see me, so why do I have to go there? So like this, if you don't have the desire, there's no problem. And some people who came little late, they were quarreling, husband and wife. You got late, that's why we couldn't see the sunrise. Every day there will be sunrise. Next day you can come. But anyway, desire to see the sunrise at that particular place. So they were angry because they could not see that. So what is the problem? Desire. If the fulfilled desire, happy. If the unfulfilled, unhappy. So who is in bondage? Me. Why? I thought these should be done. So desire. So this is so simple way that Vedanta teaches us that Drishya Darshana Sambandhe, and how the desire comes, the seer and the object of the scene, the relation with these two. The sun and the sunrise and the person who is going to take the snap. They won't check those photos anymore, but they're going on taking all the snaps. Well, like these only. They will be going and Sukha Samvedanuttama Drishya Sambodhita Bandha Tat Mukta Mukti Uchyate. Suppose you are bound to that particular object, then you are bound. And if you are not, that mukta. So when we talk about the mukti, this is so simple, so easy, but it is so difficult to achieve. Why? Because millions and millions of desires. And the life after life, we have developed those desires. And now it is so difficult to go beyond. To go beyond that, so this is when ever free consciousness and bliss develop, a false attachment with unreal object is called bondage. I am conscious, I am developing a relation with something which is not there. So this is called bondage. This bondage goes away when the knowledge comes. When a child is playing with a doll, we have seen the girls, they are talking with the dolls. Now you should not do this, you should not do that, whatever. They are going on talking and so busy with all that. They are forgetting all around the world what is going on happening. When the mother is carrying the child, it is also carrying that doll with. So this is too much attachment. The same person, when grow up, they give away that doll. So what is the bondage? When we think this is permanent, without this we cannot survive. This bondage. The moment we can give up that, it is freedom. So these are the only two things. Our suffering because of misunderstanding. So I cannot survive without that. And we go on repeating that. And when we are going on pondering the same thought, I cannot live without, that gives us much pain. So well, it came in my life. It was all right in my life. Now it is no more. It is okay. So every time, then we will learn from the Guru Vasishtha, don't hanker. So when I joined one of the senior Swamiji, he was the president of the Advaita Ashrama, and he told, don't seek, don't shun. Don't go for this thing that I need that, don't seek that. And when it comes, no, I don't want. No, son, don't shun, don't seek. Whatever comes, get it, enjoy it. Sometimes some people are appreciating you, just look at them, what they are appreciating, good. They are criticizing you, look at them, what they are criticizing, is okay. So by that way, you must be always have a unique condition so that you do not suffer. I suffer because of my thought. When I heard something, I thought, oh, they are criticizing me. The same thing, if we have other way, oh, they are praising me, you will have a completely different effect. I have told you many times, in Andaman, there was a drunkard, and he used to come and sleep before the shrine. And we used to, in the morning, our students and myself used to go and drag him out, because he used to sleep like a fool. We used to drag him out, and afterwards, when he would get up, he will go on abusing us, but in Telugu language, and none of us knew Telugu. So we were happy, looking at us, he's saying something, but as because we don't understand the language, there is no problem for us. Then a Telugu boy joined. There was an orphanage. The Telugu boy joined. And the next day when he was free, they said, Swamiji, oh no, don't translate, don't translate. We are happy. If we know this, what he is telling, so that meaning will go and will be unhappy. So what is this? We are hearing those words as because we cannot understand, we were happy. If the moment we will understand, we will be unhappy. Who is suffering? Me. Why? Because I am accepting or I am not accepting in that basis. So what is mukta? Not accepting. What is that bondage? I am accepting. So accept and non-accept. So he says, go beyond this. He is saying, as a student of the Vedanta, you all know that every object, including my body and mind, are temporary by nature. Even though we expect permanent existence and bliss, out of those it will be devastating and the result will be misery. So this is the statement he says. We understand that, but even though we are thinking that we will get a lot of pleasure out of that and permanently, temporarily we go to a restaurant, enjoy a food and then we forget, it's okay. But when we think this is going to be the permanent and this should be there, that is the problem. So then this repetition of that futile effort is called bondage. So what is bondage? If we understand the bondage, then we can plan for the liberation. Bondage is expecting permanent joy from a temporary object. And repeatedly we are thinking that this will give me the permanent joy. So naturally, this is the problem. So repetition of that futile effort is called bondage. When we say I, we mean that which is permanent in different times, place and situation. Friends, this is, as the Vasishtha is teaching us, the Shunya and Ashunya. Shunya means negative, nothing is there. So it is not permanent, so we understand. But still it is permanent. Why? I is there. All the time, in all places, I is there. The I is permanent. When you hold on to that I and uproot the false notion of action, the permanent bliss from the changing objects, we are liberated. To which we should hold on? I. What is that I? Consciousness. It is not the I that is growing as body. It is not the I that is changing as mind. It is the I that the consciousness. Because sometimes the children, they don't like to say their names. When they come, hey, what is your name? They won't like to. Why? Because the association is not there. The name that has been given by his or her parents, that name and that body is not associated. After a few years, when that person grew up, it becomes so much associated, even a little spelling mistake will make that person angry. The wrong pronunciation of that particular name will become very angry. Why? See, previously, the same person was not associated. Then it became associated. The reaction, the moment we get associated, this is the reaction. So Vedantin, what they don't worship. Like this, they all never go to any temple and worship. Vedantin never meditate also. Very peculiar and very, very difficult. So here in America, I find everybody wants to be Vedantin and my path is the knowledge. There are many letters I see. My path is the knowledge. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said a handful, like Swami Vivekananda only can. And it is not so easy. Why? Only constantly you have to go on analyzing. And like this way. It is only I which is constant. But the I is not this body. I is not the mind. And naturally the I is not connected with all around things that is there. But it is there. I am with that, but I am not with that. How they give the example? Like a water and a leaf. A water ball, water is there on the leaf, and the plankton leaf you must have seen, there will be water. They are together, the plankton leaf and the water, but they are not associated, they are not together. Any time the plankton leaf can throw out the water, they are not associated. Similarly, this body, this mind, this family, this society, all are with me. I am the water. I am that pure water, drop of water. I am living on that. But any time I can leave that. I don't depend on them. So this is the way, if we can understand, so it becomes, we get Shuddha, purity. Again and again, Shankaracharya is telling, your mind should be purified. And what is this purification? Now externally, when we give the initiation, we give little water and ask them to repeat the name of the Vishnu. I repeat and then they also. And taking that water, they feel that they are becoming pure. They feel, because the little water, Ganga water they are drinking and thinking I am becoming pure. But then I explain, it is not that water, but the thought of Vishnu. What is this Vishnu? All pervasiveness. It is not limited within the body. It is not limited in the mind. It is not limited in the society or in the building. It is all pervasive. And what is that? All pervasiveness, consciousness. It cannot be a form, any form. Not even the sun, not even the sky. It is beyond that. It is all consciousness everywhere. This is the goal of the followers of path of knowledge. So they go on constantly thinking that I am not eating, I am not thinking, I am not sleeping, I am not talking. Can you imagine? So that is called the knowledge. When Swami Vivekananda, he came over here, he was the master in the Vedantic knowledge. Constantly he used to forget his own, the body and mind. The ones that the lecture was arranged, he was sitting in a separate room. When all people came and circled, then someone went to invite him, Swamiji, come, everything is ready. The Swamiji was getting up and going again and again before a mirror. So after 2-3 times, the gentleman told Swamiji, why? You are sufficiently, you are very good looking, you need not to see again and again. So no, I can't remember my body. Can you imagine? Sitting over there, in the next room of the lecture hall, he was not finding his body. And that is called Vedanta. I am not the body, I am the consciousness. Is it possible for us, ordinary people? We learn like this, but we have to go and hold the holy feet of Bhagavan, because duality is possible for all of us. And the same result will be the same. Some people they are very good in mathematics. If we try to imitate them, our result will be very bad. Because they are by nature very sure they can do that. They cannot do other things maybe, but that. So if we try to imitate them the same way, we should not imitate the path of knowledge. It's very difficult. Knowing nothing wrong, we just understand what is bondage, desire, how it is that I am trying to get something permanent from an impermanent object. And naturally the result is again and again the misery, suffering, failure. Obviously, the suffering is all through my life. I understand, oh no, you cannot give like this. I am trying to get the sweet taste from a lemon that is not sweet at all. The more I go on squeezing, the more it will be bitter. Never it can give, because it is not there. The same way, if you understand, this world cannot give me permanent happiness. So I should not imagine or think to get something permanent out of this. No problem. That is called freedom. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, don't leave the household. Only understand this truth and then live in the world. In his Bengali, he said, Hate tel mekhe kathal bhango. Hate tel mekhe means apply the liquid, the oil, and then you break the jackfruit. The green jackfruit is all juicy and very sticky. So if you try to open that without applying the lubrication, the oil, or at least the gloves, then it will be terrible. So obviously, when we are living in this world, we must enjoy this world, but at the same time, we know this is very, very temporary, and I'm not bound by this. I don't have the desire for all this, that much. So this is so wonderfully, that is called Suddhata. What is the purity of mind? Understanding. What is this understanding? I am eternal, but my body is not. My mind is not. And obviously all the objects are around, not. Then how do I behave? Like that. Suppose you go to visit a place. This is an hotel room that you are there. And some problem here and there. Do you take those problems in your head? No. We just go, we leave, and as maximum enjoyment we can get from there. We know temporary, 3 days we have come. So we behave. For all the people serving over there, we behave with them very courteously. Because temporary, why should I pick up a quarrel with them? So I behave like that. But someone will go over there and start taking why the bed is there, bed should be like this, and the Vastu has told, when I sleep, if you go according to the Vastu, before booking the hotel you should have. Now, he will go with the Vastu, he will fight, and after when he is fighting, the police will come, 3 days over, and then he has to go back. And what happened ultimately? Only excitement and quarreling. Those people will keep the name, oh, this is the person came from Chicago, he is always a trouble, be careful, next time, no. When he's trying to book, no. So what you get? You are trying to get your own thing permanently from an impermanent thing. So this is the thing. So when we talk about the knowledge, we think, oh my God, this is so deep. It is just like this. Do not expect permanent happiness or result from an impermanent thing. That is the thing. That's all. And how? The moment you understand these, they say your mind is Shuddha. Well, right this moment, every one of us, we are thinking, oh, this is easy, we have understood. After 10 minutes, everything will go away. Again, because that is called Maya. As we are reading, we are pondering, meditating, thinking, that very moment it is there. And exactly we are thinking as the Shankaracharya thought. That way, we are pure. But the moment we go out of this room, immediately all that thoughts will come and they attack our mind. Why? Because that is the nature. Then what should we do? Constantly thinking, constantly analyzing, constantly viveka vairagya. That's why they always say viveka vairagya. Constantly. If we can do that, then there is no problem. So they say in the third verse of the 10th chapter, Shuddham Sat Asat Madhye Padam Labdha Avalambatat. As we have already analyzed, Suddham, the purity. Sat Asat Madhye, Sat and Asat. Sat means eternal, permanent. And Asat means temporary. Within these, there's a purity is there. What is that? Consciousness. Sat Asat Madhye. Asat is this body. And Sat is me, I. I am constant. I was a little baby, growing up. All these changes are there. Asat. Asat means not permanent. But I am growing up. The I is permanent. The Sat Asat Madhye. So what is this I? So Sat Asat Madhye Padam Labdva Avalambata. You should hold to that consciousness. Oh, that means I am the consciousness. It is eternal. It is every time, everywhere. Hold to that. So Bahira Bantaram Vishyam Magrihan Vimunchama. Vimuncha means Grihana and Vimuncha. Grihana means accepting, Vimuncha means giving up. You need not to do that. Don't behave like that. So one of our young Swami, Brahmachari at that time, anyone coming to touch his feet, he will be running. No, don't touch me, don't touch me. Usually in India they say it's not to allow people to touch the feet. That type of thoughts are there. And he took it so seriously, then anyone coming, he will be running. And they also get the fun, they will also chase, Maharaj, please wait. And it is fun for them. Every time he is chased by some people, and he is going on running. Little body. So you are not accepting, they are not offering pranam to you, this particular form. And you, this particular form, are not receiving. Actually, it is going to Bhagavan Ramakrishna. Try to imagine they are touching your feet. No, they are touching the feet of Bhagavan Ramakrishna. My responsibility is to constantly thinking, oh, they are touching the feet of Lord. What is happening? I am meditating. That particular moment when they are touching my feet, it is not me, it is the God. Can you imagine? That flash, the meditation. It is good. You are meditating that you are that Supreme Lord, and they are coming and touching the feet and getting the blessings. And they are coming and touching, oh, he is the representative of Bhagavan Ramakrishna. There is no problem. So it says like this, that you should not accept Grihana and Vimuncha, accept or reject. Don't bother about that. So that will be all right. So this is the way you have to understand. Some people are giving you, okay. Some people are not giving, it's okay. So by that way, if it is possible, this external Vaya or internal Abhantara world is Vishnu. So this Vishya, this world is what? External and internal. External world is there and internal world is also there. And internal world is as good as the external one. I have friends, I have foes, I have fear, I have all these things that I have outside. The same thing is there also in the internal. So don't be bothered with those things. Shuddham sata sata bhakti padam labdva. Padam means that consciousness. Labdva, having that. Avalambaka, hold to that one. I am conscious. If I can't think in that way, we can think, I am the Lord Supreme. Within me, the Lord Vishnu is there. Within me, the Lord Krishna is there. Within me, Bhagavan Ramakrishna is there. And all that I see is nothing but He. So that way, by her external, abhyantara, internal, Visham, the word, Madhyana, Vimunchara. There's some of the people, in the beginning it is okay. It is good to have that. Some of the people, they will not allow the ladies to come. And that's okay in the beginning, but in the middle, it is good. And traditionally, we always try to avoid. And those females, the nuns, they avoid, which is okay in the beginning. It doesn't mean that we have to develop a hatred. So that is another thing. So that we are not accepting means they are coming as my sisters or my mother. So what is the problem? So one of the direct disciples of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was thinking in that way. Sri Ramakrishna rectified. Why? You have your mother in your home, you have your aunties, you have your sisters. Why don't you think in that way? Why should you hate? The more you are hating, the more you are repeating the same thought. And it is mind only. When you are going on thinking about why that lady should come, then you are thinking about that lady constantly. So one of the stories, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said that the Guru said that you should not look or touch the women, the brahmachari. Then these two brahmacharis, they were going inside the jungle. Suddenly they heard that someone is crying for help. A lady came to take the water from the river, slipped into that. She was not knowing the swimming. She was dying. So one brahmachari, the moment he came over there, he jumped and took that lady out of the water and then helped her to go back to her village. The other one was going on shouting, hey, don't touch, don't touch. The Guru said not to touch the lady. And while he was doing that, then he became very much excited. He came back to the ashrama and he told, Guruji, do you know, he did this, he did that, he did that. Then he took the lady and then the Guru quietly learned, heard all those, and then he said, he only touched over there in the river and you are still carrying that lady in your mind. So who is pure? So we have to understand what we should do and how and when. It is the mind only that is getting attached. So again and again they say, you should not buy her abhantara, externally and internally. The Visham, this word, that word means the changing things. Don't either accept or vimuncha. It comes, it's okay. Now what should we do? That is the Shuddham Padam Labdva, understanding or realizing the pure state, that is you. And that unchanging condition, one should hold to that, undisturbed by Sat Asata Madhye, Sat and Asat constantly going on. Here Sat means that I, and Asata is body and mind, and Chetana and Achetana, the sentient and the insentient. This is constantly there. Hearing these discourse of the Rishi Vasishtha, and Rishi Valmiki is giving the description. It went to the almost a night, it became, then all told, okay, today we should stop, then all retired, and Ram went back to his room and he started contemplating. This is important. When we learn something from our Guru, from our scripture, we should go on, try to analyze that within our mind. contemplating on that again and again. Otherwise, it just go away. So this is telling Ram is contemplating all alone. All others are tired, they are sleeping. But Sri Ramachandra didn't sleep. He was contemplating, what is this world? Who are all these different kinds of people and beings? Where from they come? Where do they go? What is the origin of Maya and how it ends? Well, mind is the main source of pleasure and sorrow. How can I control my mind? Sri Ramachandra was thinking. So when we think about controlling the mind in a door, one time Sri Ramachandra was also thinking it this way. This is natural, this is normal. Next day, Rama eagerly requested the Guru, "Oh Lord, kindly resume your discourses." Now, how I will know that my mind is becoming pure? I will feel attracted to this type of discussions. Most of the people, if they come, they always think, "Oh my God, what's the time? What's the time?" Of course, today, the 1 hour will spring the forward, and naturally, oh my God, this is 12 o'clock in the previous day. So they will be calculating in that way. There is nothing like that. They feel so happy listening to the spiritual talks. So 2 things. First, listening the teachings of the Guru or the scripture. Second, pondering over that, recapitulating over that, analyzing those things, and what is my condition? My mind is having this type of thoughts. How can I control my mind? If I can control my mind, I am completely free. But I can't. This type of thoughts are coming. So he is eagerly waiting. The next day, the moment the Guru came and sat, immediately the first question he said, "Will you please continue that discussion?" That means eagerness, love to listen. That shows the mind is becoming pure. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna also said, yogis also say, that when the mind is coming up to the heart, then we feel joy with all people, because the heart is the place where it is manifesting. Heart is place of love. We feel love for everyone. And when it comes to the throat, then we like to talk about God only. And when it goes on in between the 2 eyebrows, then we see the different visions of God. And ultimately, when it goes on the top of the head, what happens? No one can explain. Only one who has realized that can. So this is the way it goes. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna also said. So how we will know that we are making progress towards spirituality? This. Whenever we hear something, read something, learn something spiritual, it goes on pondering in our mind. So why this, why that, what is my condition, etc. Then finally, I feel like drawn to that. The first day when the Master Maharaj went to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he and his friend, the friend actually took him. Master Maharaj never knew. But the friend was not at all interested. And from the next day, he was never there. But he introduced Master Maharaj with his teacher, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And what do you find? Master Maharaj, when he is leaving that, he was thinking, I must come back, I must come back, I must come back. I must listen. So that love to listen, so that shows the Rama is telling, "O Lord, kindly resume your discussion." Then the Rishi Vasishtha said, "O Rama, this apparently unending world is the mixture of Raja and Tama." Then he will go on explaining. Apparently unending. I am dying, but my grandson is growing up, the same world will repeat. The grandson will become the grandfather, his grandson, the same world will be there. Maybe companies will change, the sound is changing, otherwise everything is the same. the mental condition remains same. Okay, friends, we should stop over here. Is there any question?
Yeah, there is one question. Tuheen is asking, which chapter are we studying now?
10th chapter of the Prakarana, that is Yoga Vasishtha Prakarana, 10th chapter, the last chapter. Yoga Vasishtha is a big book, and we are reading Prakarana. Prakarana, it has been chosen from there, mostly philosophical place. And I am adding little stories also, otherwise it may become, to some people, very little boring, constantly thinking about, I am not the body, I am not the mind, then who am I? Who is feeling hungry? So what all this? So this is the way we are adding some of the stories, conversation between Ramachandra and the Guru, Vasishtha. Actually, this is the 10th Prakarana. Thank you.
No more questions.
Okay. So let us say Shanti 3 times and we conclude. I'm very happy, friends, some of you who could come over here. I know that whoever is coming, this is the center, Omar Glen. It takes 45 minutes to 1 hour to drive. But well, it shows that you love, and that proves your mind is becoming pure. So may you all be pure. Let us say Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti.